Glad to have you join us on this segment. And if you're just joining us, this is our interview segment. And on this segment, we're going to be talking about youths in crime. And we're talking about the way it's a societal burden in our country here in Nigeria. We're going to be doing this today with Somto Igbokwe. He's the member of Police Community Relations Committee, Ojokoro Division. You're welcome to the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, now we're talking about youths in crime, and we're looking at the way it's a societal burden on the country. And we can see rightly here you're a member of PCRC. From your own perspective, from the field work, from what you've seen with most of these youth or victims of this crime, what would you say is the reason why some of these people engage in such activities?
We are talking about youth and then crime. Yeah. We have two relations, and you talk about who is youth. Youth is someone between the age of childhood and adult.
Okay.
And we in this as society we classify them as more like teenagers or young people that are still very, very vibrant and energetic and full of future. And then we also classify them as people that are people we look up to take over from the next generation. These are the youth, that are per se in this class. Then we talk about the crime itself. These are offenses that are punishable by law. When you commit them, you have really breached the societal core values that are supposed to be, that are not supposed to be in the society. So you see a lot of factors. There are a whole lot of them. And when it comes to crime, you can channel them into basically to a single or a common factor that we see in a society. Probably it could be as a result of parental morals, improper parental morals. It could be probably as a result of bad upbringing.
Okay.
It could be peer pressure. It could even be the common that we have in our society, probably is poverty, due to the rising of the way the whole economic situation of the country is. So some are even attached to poverty. So, but it all boils down to who is committing the crime, and at the end of the day, somebody is being punished for what he has done.
Okay, you talked about parental upbringing as one of the factor, but I want to cite, for example, I know somebody that this person is from a religious background. This person, the parent is a pastor and the wife is also a member of a church, but you find out that this particular person is into drugs. So can we, what will you say about that?
Yes, most times the parents might have to actually do their own job as a parent, but there's if you remember I said peer pressure.
Yeah.
It could be as a result of peer pressure. Maybe they want to be like they are copying their kind of class of friends, and then they want to associate the kind of association they have. If you have a class of friends that are into drug, there is likelihood that even if you are coming from a background of Christian home, you also might not even know when you start smoking.
Yeah.
So these are peer pressure. This is different from the fact that you are coming from a good parental background. But the parents have done their job, fine. But that peer group, associating with that group of people, can lead you or can make you to mark from the fact that you deviate, and by the time you know what's happening, the person is already off from.
Yeah, absolutely true. Okay, now let's look at our security operatives. Now, how well do you think they are tackling this particular menace in the society? Because I know that there was a time where, even till now, people are really, young guys are scared of going out even with their phones, especially iPhones. Young guys are scared of having dreads. Young guys are scared of wearing chains, because if they go to a particular location, some security operative might see them and say, they just tag them as the Yahoo Boy 10. So and in their defense, they are trying to safeguard the country and the community, and then you see them ask them questions like, give me your phone, let me check your phone. Do they really have the right to actually go through the phones of these young people?
I'm not here speaking for the police because as a PCR member, we don't stand on the police, we don't collect people's phone.
Okay.
We are in relations with a police, we report crimes within our communities.
Okay.
So we see some common crimes that are not supposed to be. Probably there's a burglary in the area. You know, we communicate to the police, and then they take a necessary, speedy actions.
Okay, now in your communication to the police, like after you relate the crime to them, how would you rate their action?
Yeah, that's why the body of this. That's why we have these community policies, because we are on the grassroots. You know, police have their own substations, but we are in the grassroots. We are within the community, spread over the community. We are within this. We are within the community. So we are in this where these crimes are being perpetrated in this within the community. So it's as if we are the police within the community. So when we see some of those things, we are like we work in hand with police. You understand?
Okay. My question is, for example, when you cite somebody, okay, this person is into drug, for example, you've investigated and maybe the person even exhibited it, and you people get the person, and you people take it, maybe you take the person to the station or a rehabilitation center. After the rehabilitation center, what next? What are you people doing? Are you just leaving that person to go, and what are you people doing concerning that, so that they will affect the society when they come out?
Every particular crime has its own kind of punishment. So for someone that has done maybe a case of rape, the punishment that is going to be accorded to the person is probably going to be different from somebody who just, you know, probably was as a result of was smoking and inconveniencing other people. So every particular kind of crime has its own kind of, you know, particular part of punishment that is accurate to it. So it's not like the general kind of punishment, but when these crimes are committed, there is always a punishment for it. That is what I can assure you.
Okay, now there's something I still want to understand from what you have said. You said you work in relation to the police, right? But my question is this: when you relay the crimes, for example, let me just say, like maybe you're like spies, right? And you give the police the information and you inform them of what has happened. I want to know what necessary actions do they take? How responsive are they? And what is the statistics of the kind of crimes you've reported and they've apprehended these people and actually taken them to book?
Yeah, there is a very quite speedy response, because by the time we have a monthly meetings that we all have to. So by the time you report these crimes, you are communicating directly with the police and they take a swift action immediately. So it's not like it's the one you have to stay a long time before you can be able to say maybe 1 day, 2 days. Immediately once you report, they take a swift action immediately. Yes, take a swift action to that.
Okay, now some of these youths that have been perpetrators of this particular act, like Ruth rightly asked, when they are apprehended and justice has been served, what happens next?
Yes, most of them are they are taken to, if this one has to do with taking you to the prison, once you are handed over to the police, if it has to be, you are going to serve for the cause of the kind of crime you commit. So as I said, every crime has its own kind of punishment. So it depends on the kind of crime. Crime could be in form of murder. There's a murder case. There's also maybe a result of probably internet fraud, or probably drug abuse. So all these crimes, they are all, if it's about drug, they hand you over to NDLEA. If it's about the one that has to do with murder, you are handed to the police and you'll be in prison until according to the number of years. So there is a punishment for each of any crime being committed.
Okay, and those people, when you are apprehended, do people further investigate or look for links? Okay, what's the connection? Where are the people? Where are what do people do?
How do people do it? There's a proper documentation of investigation, because that is a major reason. That's the major reason for the crime being committed. There's going to be.
So you also ask them, where are your friends? Where are the colleagues? And you people get them together.
Everybody has to be in the book at the end of the day. Yes, once this crime is committed, everybody's on the book.
Okay, now I want to share an experience and ask for what you think about this. I was walking one day and then I saw a lady on the road and she seemed stranded, and I offered help to her. I tried to help out and she told me that she just got out of jail. At that point, I was like, what happened? What did you do? And she then explained that she was not the perpetrator, but she was used to get the person. And according to what she said that she was the link So they couldn't get through to the person. They checked, I think, the person's contact or who the person frequently called, and they got her. And then in the process, she was detained and kept waiting for bail. So somebody was meant to come and bail her, and they actually got the person in question, but she was there for 2 weeks. Now I would like to know, does that really happen? And then my question is this: in my own head, I was thinking, since they used her to get to somebody, did they have to detain her for that long again? Before, does she have to go through bail to come, or why didn't they just release her so she can go?
I'm not there, and I can't really say or speak for whatever more reason. There must be a reason why she was
Detained.
Yes, there
Okay.
must be. I'm not there, but there must be. I know that the Nigerian police are very, very sensitive when it comes to in the investigation. There must be a link that is very strong for them to detain her. So, and there's a process, and the process must have to be in accordance. So, at the end of the day, you find out that she was still freed at the end of the day. So, it's just to make sure.
But she said she had to use her phone as a collateral for her to go.
Yeah, it's just to ensure that the process of the investigation was very, very fair enough. So
okay, if for example we have seen rising cases, let's talk about the Yahoo guys. We have seen rising cases of, even we heard of what happened in Port Harcourt, the guy that killed his girlfriend. There are stories whereby people are trying to dispose bodies, and then maybe the security guards or somebody catch them in the process. In your own, I know you have been on the field and you've seen some of these particular perpetrators. How would you say we can tackle this particular menace happening? Because we keep talking, there's sensitization going on. Police are fighting, they are arresting, they are apprehending. If we talk about drugs, almost every week, Femi comes out to give us statistics of what is going on. But then the particular act keeps going on. So what do you think are those particular, all I say now, things that can be put to place to ensure that it's actually minimized to the barest minimum?
thank you for that question. Yes, I told you poverty is one of them that links to, sometimes it could be peer pressure, and then it could be background. It could also be linked to other factors. But what is very important is unemployment is also part of it too.
Okay.
Especially when you find out that a lot of our teenage youth are unemployed, and then what comes to their mind is either to start smoking or to start taking drugs and abusing drugs, and they involve themselves, or even the ones that are even more rampant is internet fraud.
Yeah.
These are key factors that the government needs to put into consideration. The government itself cannot run away from this, because they also need to do their part by creating employment for the young people. At the same time, making the environment very, very much conducive for them to work. Because I believe if these young teenage people are employed, there is no way these vices are not going to be totally cleared off, but they will be in a minimal. So the government has its own part to play in this by creating more job opportunities for those that are ready, because virtually some people might not, and even if the government does their own, some people might not.
They say that it doesn't pay well.
It doesn't pay well. They want to, but the government itself has to do their own role. Then the parents too has to also do their own role. Parental upbringing, the family, especially the parents, they have to do their own job, especially when the child are still, because even there's a particular part of the Bible that says, train up a child in the way he should go. When he grows, he will not depart. So if the parents has done their job very well, it creates this instinct within those children. Even if they kind of get to a particular places, they know that this is wrong. It won't go haywire at a point. So I think education is very, very paramount here. A proper education, the government intervention, and then that's all.
Okay, in relation to all this crime, when as a person I report this crime, how sure I am that I'm secured? How sure is the person secured whenever somebody reports a crime?
Yes. Yeah,
because we know that, for example, we know that there are some policemen that after you report a particular crime, the person will go to the back of that person and they'll say, is this person that reported the issue? It is this person that reported the issue, and people don't believe it anymore. So people don't trust the police anymore. So how secured is that individual?
Yeah, don't forget, if I said I'm not speaking for the police, Nigerian police, but at the same time, I believe we have a professional system of police in Nigeria that are very, very smart enough not to disclose information of, they believe they are very smart enough not to disclose information of those people that has come to report to the station. So I don't think it's something to worry about when you report.
All right.
Okay. So now moving on from what we have been discussing generally, I would like to know, please, can you give us a practical example or a story of a case that has been handled by your relation with PCRC and the police?
For now, most cases are more of like maybe there's a report of maybe public burglary of a house in the night. You go report to the police does their investigation, and at the end of the day, you find out that some of the items that after they do, it could be a community-based robbery, and you find out that at the end of the day, once it's being reported to the police, you find out that at the end of the day, give the police some time. All those items that were stolen are going to be recovered.
Really? They
Yes.
get it back?
Yeah, they are recovered through their smart in the investigative process.
Okay, now as we round up, I'd like you to give a bit of advice to the youths, because we noticed that they say catch them when they are young.
Yeah.
So even for the good and bad, they tend to catch them when they are young. So what would be your advice to the youths that are engaging in this particular type of menace? As you've rightly said, that the government has a role to play, the parents has a role to play. I believe that individuals to have a role to play. So what would be your advice to them?
Yes, nobody is limited to anything. Even if you are, there's nobody limited. Everything comes from the mind, because this act has to come from the mind. You having a good background from the family, going to the college or going to the peer, you own yourself. You are the one that will tell yourself that I'm not going to do this because I know that this is not the right thing to do. So once you have that mind that okay, this is who you are, and once you've stated yourself the kind of your life, your focus, the kind of life you want to live, you've defined a purpose of your living. It's not you don't want to go and smoke and then at the end of the day end your life so quickly, because if you look at some of these vices, they are vices that at the end of the day you end up your life being cut short. Most of them have a big dreams, and if you are a young person and you know that you have some good dreams to achieve, you should be intentional. You should be able to tell yourself not to involve yourself or engage yourself in some things that will end your career or end your life so fast, especially drug abuse and then internet fraud and the rest.
Okay, thank you very much. Ruth, do you have anything to add again to this?
The youth we know that we are the future leaders of tomorrow, so please don't do anything that will rob you of your reward in the future. Especially don't rob anybody of their hard-earned income. Don't rob anyone. Just hard work is very important. Hard work will lead you far to your destination. So continue to be consistent, and when you are consistent in something, you find out that there is a reward for being consistent, and you are just a little bit closer to your dream.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. So I think for me, I would just say this. People always think about now and forget about tomorrow. Always remember that there's always a ripple effect of whatever you're doing. If you think it might not affect you now, trust me, it will affect the next person around you, and it has a negative effect on our economy. You think about now, you forget about your generation, you forget about your future, you forget about what's going to happen tomorrow. So always do right to contribute positively to the society. Do right by yourself, just like our guest has rightly mentioned, that some of these vices, whether you like it or not, somehow it has a way of affecting your life, affecting your future. Some people may still live, some people might find out that their life will be cut short because of maybe one involvement or the other, or in some particular activities. You might not be the perpetrator. When they come to raid the house and you're there, they will catch you and you will go. So be careful of the kind of actions that you carry out. I know that some of our parents have really invested a lot. I'm not talking about financially now, in giving us a good upbringing. But when we step out of the home, we seem like we forget where we are coming from. Don't forget the child of whom you are. Always do right, no matter where you are. Like my mom used to tell me something. She said, even if I'm not there, God is seeing you. Even if I'm not a Christian, whatever you believe in, somebody is watching over you. So do well to always do right every time. Okay, that's all we can take on this segment of Daybreak Africa. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back.